Hey, greetings from peace and sex is Mike coming at you from AT Astro, Error of Truth Aspect, and Predictive Astrology. And in today's awesome astrological segment, we're going to be starting my moon sign series. And what a better moon to start with, in my opinion, than my own personal moon, Moon in Leo. And Moon in Leo is awesome. And I'm a Moon in Leo, and I don't know, kind of adorable. So, what is the moon? Well, if you've already been studying astrology a little bit, you're going to know what the moon is. The moon is your emotional nature. When you pull up your little chart, you can see where the moon falls and what glyph it falls under for, there's a glyph for each sign. And if it falls in Leo, then boom, you're a Leo moon. And Leo is a very extroverted energy. It's ruled by the sun. It's very expressive. It's a little bit self-centered. Not in a bad way, though. And it's just and it's a fixed energy. So, the emotions don't fluctuate as much. It's definitely more of a consistent fire. And when you have your moon in Leo, or if you know somebody that has a moon in Leo, you're going to notice that they're generally pretty gregarious. They definitely like to have a good time. They like to be a people pleaser. They like to entertain. They like to show themselves off a little bit. And a lot of times it depends on the chart, though, because sometimes if it's in like the 4th house or the 12th house, they can be a little bit more reserved about it, but they're still going to let it show, at least around their immediate family. If it's in a more extroverted placement, like let's say you got Moon and Leo in the 7th house, the 5th house, the 10th house, it's going to be a lot more showy. And the aspects make a difference as well, but still, even if you have a lot of hard aspects made to it, the flavor of Moon and Leo is still going to be there. I know quite a few. My dad's a Leo moon, but he's like the worst possible placement of a Leo moon you can ever see, and I'll go over that in a moment. But the good positive traits of a Leo moon is they're very warm, they're very generous, they can be very loving, they're very extroverted for the most part. They're very, I don't know, they're just, it's not like a real soft, sweet kind. Like, they're kind, but it's not like a sweet kind of hold you, cuddle you type of stuff, like a Cancer moon or anything like that. They're just they're going to show that they're there for you by, being right there with you. Come on, let's do this, we're buddies, we're da-da-da-da. They're very loyal. Leo moons will do anything for their friends if they consider you a friend. But Leo moons got a bad side, and all moons have a bad side. If they feel like they've been ignored by you, if they feel slighted by you, they're going to let you know. It's when you have a fire moon, the emotions are loud. They're very fire, and it's just they roar. They're like a lion. You got a lion heart. So I mean, if something's bothering you, you're gonna let it out generally. But the thing about it is they can sometimes get. See, the thing about Leo moon is Leo's ruled by the sun, and the sun is the ego. And the moon is the emotions. And so the emotions and the ego are very closely tied. And if you don't recognize it, things that hurt your pride will hurt you very much emotionally. They feed off of, they are emotionally secure when there is anything that helps feed their view of themselves. So that's why they are like little compliment whores. I can be a little compliment whore. I love it when people talk about me. It makes my heart just burst. Now, I've learned to kind of get a little bit past it and sort of not rely on it as much. But if somebody is talking about me, I definitely get very excited. It makes me feel good emotionally. Also, Leo moons can be very talented, very much entertainers, because they are going to find ways to satisfy that emotional craving for affirmation. So, like me, for instance, when I was a kid, I developed all kinds of little talents to try to get me noticed. Like, I had really good memory, so I could, whenever I was a kid, I could recite all of the presidents in order, by memory, which was a big deal because I was 6. And it got me a lot of attention, which, in hindsight, I was just doing that because I knew it would get me attention. And I craved that attention. And even these videos right now, they get me attention, and I live for that shit. If it's not in the best place, if the moon is harshly aspected, or they're not really trying to live out the positive qualities of that moon, because the Leo moon can be really, really generous, very giving, very loyal, very loving, very and it's kind of like a kind of love, like they'll all over you. They put you on a pedestal. That also can be a downside. If they're not living the positive side of the Leo moon, they tend to put people up on these massive high pedestals because they, that they can't ever really live up to. Because why should I care so much about you if you're anything less than perfect? Because you're just an extension of my ego. So if you're not perfect, that means I'm not perfect. And because I care so much about you, then you have to be fucking perfect, because I shouldn't care about anything that's less than perfect. That's the one thing I've noticed. They can also be really bossy. They can be They can brag, be big giant blowhards. I know one person with their moon in the first house in Leo, and literally every conversation that they have with anybody is, you just can't talk to them about yourself. You get into a conversation and they always just turn it into something about them, or something about what they're doing or how well they're doing. Or it's just, yeah, they can become big blowhards if the moon isn't placed really well. They can be kind of crybabies sometimes. It depends on how much growth they've done. I've seen there are a lot of the people that put those big giant like boohoo woe is me fests on Facebook, or say they're going to kill themselves on Facebook when they're really not going to. That's a Leo moon kind of thing. I've seen that before from Leo moons. I would never do that, because I think that is ethically horrible to falsely claim to commit suicide just so that you can get people to come, give you attention. But I've seen it happen. So there's a good and a bad. There have been some really cool people out there that have Leo moons. Like, look at Charles Manson. Not Charles Manson. That was Scorpio moon. Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson was a Leo moon. Think of all the type of artistic pursuits that he pursued, mainly back in the 90s, that gained him a lot of attention. David Bowie was a Leo moon. Winston Churchill was a Leo moon. In fact, Winston Churchill gets my award for King Leo moon, because that guy fucking roared across the English Channel at the Nazis, and he led his nation to beat those bitch asses in World War II. So, well, he had a part in it. Who else is a good Leo moon? Paris Hilton's a Leo moon. She fits one of the categories of stupid Leo moons, in my opinion. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of really interesting people that have those placements, and there's usually a common theme between them. They're usually, showy. They like attention. They're very loving, but there's definitely an ego, mixed up in there that you kind of got to either just love or hate. And if you tell them that they're being egotistic, or they're getting all in their feelings, or about something that is stupid self-centered, they're gonna listen to you. Leo moons aren't really all that stupid. They're just they just love themselves. Leo loves Leo, and they love anything that makes Leo look better. So it is what it is. So until next time, guys, I'll be finishing up the end of my. I'll be finishing up this Moon in the Signs series fairly shortly here, and also I do have a podcast. It is Outrage Astrology. It's available on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play Music. And I do offer consultations. Just feel free to check out my contact information below, and I'd be happy to set something up with you. So thank you so much, guys. Till next time.